We've seen this one a lot, and I think when people know that we're in the finance space and they have a life event happen, they kind of begin asking this question. It goes something like this: Hey, I just got some money. Maybe I sold a business, I retired and cashed out my pension, I received an inheritance, I fill in the blank. I got a big bonus. I just got a large lump sum of assets come my way. What do I do now?
I'm going to frame this because, look, out there in personal finance, when you guys become financial nerds, you're not quite a mutant, because a mutant will kind of understand this, the nuance of where I'm about to go with this. But it cracks me up when I see in the theology of personal finance, it's dollar cost averaging versus lump sum investing. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, well, markets go up 80% of the time. I'm a lump sum investor. And then like other people are like, well, dollar cost averaging because of all the behavioral and all these other things it does for you. I'm telling you guys, it's like everything else in personal finance. It depends.
That's
and
right.
I'm telling you, instead of this being a binary decision of either your dollar cost averaging or your lump sum investing, how about that somebody put together a rule called the Goldilocks rule that actually takes into account what does this money mean to you in relationship to what you already have? Because look, if you're trying to figure out, do you fund your Roth IRA all at once or if you put it in monthly, there's some behavioral things there. But if it's a small percentage of your total net worth and you have the cash, let's go ahead and get that money in. Mm-hmm. If you inherited $10,000, that is, do you lump sum invest that or do you dollar cost average? Depends on how much it is, because $10,000 might just be a lump sum. But what if you inherited $500,000? Mm-hmm. What if you inherited $1 million? Those things don't seem to be the same. So that's how we came up with the Goldilocks rule.
And what the Goldilocks rule suggests is you want to look at the amount of cash that you're talking about investing, and you want to compare it relative to the rest of your liquid portfolio. If it's less than 10% of your total liquid portfolio, you should consider lump sum investing. If it's between 10 and 20% of your liquid investments, perhaps you consider a DCA over 4 months. Between 20 and 30%, 6 months. 30 and 40%, 8 months, 40 and 50%, 10 months. And if the total amount you're receiving is greater than 50% of your total liquid net worth, it likely could make sense for you to dollar cost average over the next 12 months so that you can remove emotion from the equation. If you can use the Goldilocks rule, what you're going to likely do is protect yourself from yourself. You protect yourself from investing those dollars right at the beginning of 2022, or right before the COVID downturn, or right at the end of 2007, because what the last thing you want to do is put that money to work, get to a rough market, make a knee-jerk reaction decision, and then come up with a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So if we can solve the behavior, you're much more likely to set yourself up for success.
Don't you feel so much smarter for knowing that now? Now, when every time you see a debate between dollar cost averaging and lump sum, hopefully now you're going to think of the Goldilocks rule.
All right, Brian. So then we get this question. This is maybe one of the questions we've received the most, because we actually came up with a thing to solve this one. But so often someone would say, hey, I just don't know what to, I know all these things and I get all this content and I hear all these amazing things, but in what order do I do them? Like, is a 401k good, or should I pay off my credit card, or should I think about a Roth? How do I know in what order I should begin deploying my army of dollars?
It's almost like it'd be nice if somebody gave you an instruction manual on what to do with your next dollar. And that's exactly what we've tried to create. Just like math has PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, with how to try to figure out when do you do multiplication, when do you do addition. Money is the exact same way. It's just nobody's gone out there and said, hey, there's an optimized way on your decision matrix that you ought to do it. And we did it. That's why we had the financial order of operations, the FOO, and to not do it is foolish. So make sure you understand how FOO works for you, and it will let you know what to do with your next dollar. And if you want to get in on this, go to moneyguy.com/resources. We have tons of free resources on FOO, on wealth multipliers, on car buying, on house buying. We load you up because we just know if we do this right, it's going to create fruit and success for you so that you can be the best version of yourself financially.